tell you where these people are from because it's written on an index card. And then within seconds, they come out and say that they're from someplace else. Ladies and gentlemen, this is number 5. Would you please welcome the very funny Harry Terjanian from New York City, supposedly.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So I'm living in Wisconsin, and, you know, it's so much better than Philly, where I was living before, and I tell you what, thank you guys so much for having me. This is the last night. I'm a little bummed. I'm not going to lie. This has been a really great trip. You've been very gracious to us, and I thank you. You've been so kind, it's almost kind of, everyone's brought up, it's kind of creepy. The New York guys have all agreed it's kind of creepy. And we're really trying to figure out what the game is, honestly. Let us know. Like, I'm trying to figure out, how, you know, one day I'm just going to walk into the Johnny Carson Museum after hours, pull a panel, and find out that the corn is made of people. You know what I mean? Like, it's people! Like, no, but thank you. This is, this type of trip reminds me, like, why I'm happy to be a comedian. Like, this is part of my job. I got to do so much fun stuff. And I haven't always had good jobs, I'll be honest with you. I had some weird jobs. In college, I was working at the library of my school, and it was my job to make sure that only authorized people were in the computer lab. So basically, that made me the bouncer at a computer lab. And I'm not a tough guy, but I'm the toughest guy in a computer lab. I'm not going to lie. I'll kick a little ass in a computer lab. You know what I mean? I don't play games if you don't know how to use a Dewey Decimal System. I take that seriously. I'll tell you one job I had. It's the worst job I had at McDonald's. I worked at McDonald's, and don't be offended if you work at McDonald's. I'm not talking about the nice Nebraska McDonald's. I'm talking about the New York City McDonald's, where if you don't know this, after midnight, it ceases to be a fast food restaurant. It is just a rest area for drug addicts. That is what the McDonald's becomes. And I got a job there, and what I realized about a crappy job is the worse the job is, the more seriously the person interviewing you wants to be about that job. Like, I show up for the job, and the first thing the guy says to me goes, hey, you got a shirt and a tie, but no jacket. You don't have a suit? I'm like, a suit? This is McDonald's. Like, part of my job description involves waking up homeless people that fall asleep on the toilet. You want me to put on a tuxedo for this? Is that what you want? Like, hey, if you want to pretend this is a real job interview, I can do that. I can pretend. I can pretend this briefcase has more than my one-sheet resume in it. I can do that. I can pretend all those reference numbers at the bottom of my resume are former employers and not my friends Carl and Gary doing British accents, even though I told them you don't know who they are. Then they go into the philosophical portion of the job interview. He goes, let me ask you, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Hey, if I was the type of person who had a 5-year plan, do you think that year 1 would be working at McDonald's? What type of 5-year plan is that? Like, yeah, you know, I thought I'd spend the first 2 years mopping up the floor, maybe work my way up to the French fry machine, you know, get some technical experience under my belt. I figure by year 4, the manager will be shot during a robbery, so that's a promotion. And then by year 5, I should have enough experience to make that run for U.S. Senate that I had in mind. The job interview at McDonald's should literally be 2 questions long, okay? 2 questions. Question number 1, have you ever killed anybody? No, I haven't. Good. Question number 2, have you ever tried to kill anybody? No, I haven't. Okay, well, congratulations. You are now the manager of this McDonald's. I don't know. That's why I can't survive with a regular job. I just can't relate to people. Like, everywhere around me, I just get furious at the things people are doing. I think people are getting dumber, too, now. That's the thing that's driving me nuts lately. And that's why the future, I thought, would be so much better. Like, we really thought we'd have flying cars by now in the future. Flying cars? There's people who still haven't figured out the microwave properly. But we thought flying cars would be in the realm of possibility. Honestly? Do you know how many people die in vending machine accidents in this country? I looked it up. 7 people a year die in vending machine accidents. A machine which its sole design is to take your quarters and exchange them for potato chips. There's no reason 7 people a year should enter into this transaction and not come back alive. But that's the society we live in now. Like, we really thought technology would make us better, but it doesn't. Just because you have good technology doesn't mean we have a better society, you know? Case in point, some people can't handle it. I got a phone call from an unlisted number, okay? And I don't like unlisted numbers, but I have relatives who, you know, end up in jail or the emergency room, so I have no choice. I'm from New York. That happens. So I pick it up, and the guy goes, "Hey, man, this is Tony. I'm the guy you hit with your car last week." I'm like, "Tony, I think you have the wrong number. I didn't get into a car accident." He goes, No. Don't you remember last week in downtown D.C., you hit me with your BMW?" Like, "Tony, I live in New York. I don't own a BMW. You obviously have the wrong number." He goes, "Hey, man, this is the number you gave me." And here's how brilliant stupidity can be. For half a second, I really began to wonder if I had hit him with a car. I really thought about it. I began thinking, like, what did I do last week? Did I buy and or steal a BMW and commit an out-of-state Grand Theft Auto hit and run? Was that me? Let me check my day planner. Let me see what happened. I go, "Tony, what number were you trying to call?" And he goes, 202. I go, "Oh, right off the bat, I figured out the problem, Tony. My number is 201. You obviously dialed a 1 instead of the 2. You know, you dialed the wrong number." And he goes, "How is that possible?" Well, Tony, I'm not a scientist per se, but if I had to pick one theory, it's that you're an idiot. And he starts to get real angry. He gets real angry. He goes, "Oh, you're a tough guy over the phone. I bet you wouldn't say that to my face." "No offense, Tony. I'll give you my address. I don't have faith that you can find the right house. I have a feeling I'm going to be staring out the window watching you beat up a guy across the street." And here's the whole caveat to this. The whole point is that the cell phone conversation we had worked perfectly. Tony failed terribly. Technology will always get better. We'll have faster internet, smarter people. Tony will always be an idiot because there's no software for that. And he will probably die in a vending machine accident. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy your show.